is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the pot-positive live tabletop role-playing experience. Hi, I'm your Dungeon Master for the night, Brandon Allen McClanahan, and we are going to be doing something a little different here tonight. Maybe you've been with us for Getting Higher before, but we're getting higher tonight, guys. That both is literal and figurative. The Ferocious Five will be going from level 8 to level 9 after their big giant battle with Shren Oldbuck, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the Stone Golem, the twisting the twisting stone labyrinth of the Malachite Mountains, their battle with the Phased Rider. Quite a series of events since they fled from the Feywild for what seems like so long ago. We are pumped. We're back. We finished last week. Was absolutely insane, man. The best 420 of all time. We did. If you were able to hang with us, we did a little 4-hour. We smoked through all the 420s in the continental United States together. A lot of us here in the studio. It was a blast and a half. We'll be dropping that on the YouTube as well. If you ever want to check it out, it was a good time. We've also got, we're giving a soundtrack away tonight. So if you want to enter that giveaway, type hashtag WeeDnD in chat. That'll make you eligible. All the original music for our show is created by the brilliant Sandy Stein, who did get to hang out for a little bit on 420 with us, for those of you that got to meet him. And it's incredible stuff, man. We absolutely encourage you to use it in your home games and just enjoy the beautiful music that this man provides for us all the time. Freaking hey, guys, we got to get these characters leveled up, and there's only one way to do that. In order to do so, I got to pass this magical joint through the fibers of the interwebs to my dear and wonderful friend, Brenna. Hey, Brenna, how you doing, girl?
Ooh! Bam, thank you. That is so incredibly generous. Hello, Brenna Folger, Brunor the Sea Serpent, Prince of Elmira, the Serpent Slayer, baby. I am ready to be a 9th level fighter cavalier, baby. I'm ready to ride harder. I'm ready to fight stronger. And I'm ready to pass this to Abby. What's up, girl?
Thank you so much. I'm ready to take it. Well, what's up, buds? Abby Dandy. But I'm also known as Tina Smooth Hands around these parts. Yeah, I got the smoothest hands around. Don't worry about it. It's chill. It's not like a big thing or anything. It's fine. But yeah, Tina Smooth Hands, and I'm a halfling cleric, and I'm just so pumped to level up to 9 and like gain access to new abilities and, you know, just be able to do more wacky stuff, maybe even more powerful Joshes. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe Drewby knows. What do you got?
Oh, thanks, baby girl. What up, y'all? Drew, Thoricus, the Mountain Dwarf, level 8, Battle Master, soon to be level 9. You know what that means? Indomitable, hit points. Exciting shit. Stick around. That's all I got. Best friend. Oh, actually, I've got it right here. I still have my sending stone. Yep. Forgot about that. Sorry. Put it down. Ugh. There we go. All right, best friend, come on in. You got it?
There it is.
All right.
I got it.
All right, cool.
The reception's really good with these. You had good luck.
It is. Okay. I got it.
Good stuff.
Got it.
But thank you so much, best friend. Jake Taylor here once again as Rial Authorvon. He's a high elf, and he is a rogue arcane trickster. And I'm very curious to see what other tricks come with level 9. Very exciting stuff. Lots of opportunities for some more Rial's weird shit. I can't wait, y'all. I'm still buzzing from 420. Like, so much awesomeness. Just a smile, like. One of the best days of the year. Love y'all. And Gus, let's level up together.
Oh, appreciate it, Jake. What's up, everybody? I am your boy, Gus Two Blunts Langley, playing Divot, the Death Dealer, who's going to take a 3rd level in Warlock and really lean into this skeleton motif. Making me a 9th level character, 3 levels in Warlock to go along with the 6 in Bard. Looking forward to it. Sending this back over to Bam.
All right, there it is. Makes it back every time. The internet is truly powerful in its magic. Well, guys, we're going to do this the same way we usually do. We got a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it. Maybe you're Brenda's dog and you don't speak English. But we like to look around, make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or winter the dogs on fire, and go lighters up. Let's get higher, guys.
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up bowl and make a roll to take control. WeeDnD.
Ooh, all right. What a good time. I'm gonna drop in a little bit of this, some leveling up tunes to set the mood.
Spicy.
Ooh, all right, guys. Whew. What a little run, huh? Let's see, the last time you guys leveled up, you guys have fought some treants since then. There was Knobneck, who kept splitting into little tinier pieces. You had the entire battle with Shren and all the Syndicate dudes. The shifting stone labyrinth skill challenge in the Malachite Mountains and that big battle with the Driders, man. Some pretty big stuff, I gotta say. I threw some pretty heavy challenges at you guys, and I actually got a message from some of the other viewers that were like, hey, they like really kicked the ass out of those. Those were hard fights. I was like, yeah, dude. So again, just as a DM, I love you guys. I keep throwing bigger challenges at you, and you always step up to the task. So we've jumped from level 8 to level 9 here. So we're gonna go through and level up these pretties. Anybody want to go first?
Yes, I will.
My man, Thoricus, Onyx Heart.
Make it easy.
You know, again, some levels, I'm not gonna lie, are just more exciting than other levels. You know, some levels you're like, oh, I'm gonna be casting new spells and I'm gonna be slinging. I gotta say, level 9 for a fighter it lets the air out a little bit. Now, Indomitable is an amazing skill.
It's a great skill.
So now, one time when Indomitable fighter skill level 9, I just want to make sure I get the phrasing right so that I'm not misquoting it. Here we go. You can re-roll a saving throw that you fail. If you do it, you have to use the new roll. So it's not a guaranteed pass, but if you have already failed a saving throw, you can be like, I want to burn my Indomitable, re-roll that saving throw. So it increases your chances to pass on troublesome saves. As you guys are starting to get into these higher levels, you'll start noticing that some spells that'll be coming your way have extremely important saving throws. When spells like Disintegrate start going around and you could actually get turned into a pile of ash, things like that, that's when having that Indomitable really comes in handy. When I start being like, how many dice do I need to get? And it takes me a while, that's usually when Indomitable's a good skill to use.
Oh, God.
Yikes.
Jeez. Grabbing so many.
Get rid of that. Get rid of your night hag nightmares, Thoricus.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the feature that you get coming up. Now, one cool thing for all of you guys, at level 9, this is one of the tier increases for character strength as a whole. The best way to gauge that is they add to your proficiency bonus. So the proficiency bonus is the 5e mechanic, basically. It's like if your character can do these things, they get this number added to them. Right now, all your proficiency bonus at level 8 was +3. That will automatically go to +4 when you level your character up to level 9. Even Divot, who's a multi-class character, your proficiency bonus is based on your full character level. So although he's a level 6 bard and a level 3 warlock now, he is a level 9 character, and level 9 characters get a +4 proficiency bonus. So that's kind of how the math works on that. So generally, anything you're good at, all of you just got a little bit better at. An additional +1 to attack, to see if you attacked your attack checks, skill checks that you're proficient in, saving throws you're proficient in, and the like. So that's one general power boost that all of you guys will be getting.
Nice.
Awesome.
Sweet.
And then, honestly, like I said, I'm sorry, Thoricus. I wish I had more toys for you. But again, we are at a new character level, so you will get to make the choice when it comes to hit points. You can either roll 1d10 and add your Constitution modifier, or you can choose to take the average +1 and add your con modifier to that.
Ooh!
I'll go with it.
Oh, you devil.
Oh,
Risking it for the biscuit.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
$100.
it burned. It worked out against you before, so I'm glad. Yo, Thorkus, what's your Constitution modifier?
Well, I just raised it on the last level, so it is now a 3. So that'll be 13 points coming to Big Papa Thorkus, and that'll put me up to 92.
92. All right, yo, 92 hit points. I'm gonna have to start hitting you more.
It's okay. I respectfully decline.
All right, Thorkus. That's
Done
level
and
9.
done, son.
What was that? Like, what did that take us? Like 3 minutes? All right, there you
I
go.
think so.
Yeah, like I said, we are
I
definitely.
tried to, just so you know, I tried dragging Indomitable into my thing, and it's not. I couldn't get it to go. It said I didn't have a player's handbook, and so I couldn't. I don't know why.
Okay.
I've been able to do it before, but just
yeah,
so you
just
know.
jot that down, and I'll
sure.
try it when
I got
we're done with the stream. It shouldn't be a problem. And worst case, I can always input it. We will be integrating with the show, just to kind of full disclosure. What the heck, we're leveling up with you guys right now. I'm looking to implement the D&D Beyond plugin soon, so the same character sheets that the audience can see, the overlays when they watch the show, that D&D Beyond overlay, the same character sheet that they see would be the one that you guys are using. Currently, you guys all roll through the Roll20 interface, and then we have the D&D Beyond as like an overlay to help inform people that have questions about the characters. But I think it'll be a little move, a nice move going forward. So I just wanted to say that's the plan pretty soon. So, and then things like drag and drop functionality and character sheets filling themselves out much easier and not as much of a headache. So, dope. It's Thorkus rolling max with 10 out of 10 plus 3, 13, 92 hit points, almost 3 digits. You'll have over 100 hit points when you hit level 10. That's pretty dope.
Whoa.
With it.
Man.
I'm interested a little bit, Thorkus. So you're again a lot of my players here. Some of them are completely new to Dungeons and Dragons. Drew has played more D&D than the bulk of most of the rest of the players. I'm interested in your thoughts on the Battlemaster class. Like, do you enjoy it as a class and the way it plays out? Is, you know what I mean? Like, is there anything that you think is missing, or that you would, you know what I mean? Like, how does it feel as a class?
I like it personally. It's the first time I've ever played as a battle master. I usually go champion.
Get them crits.
Because it fits the backstory of whatever character I've made for whatever reason. It's fun. But yeah, this is my first time as a battle master, and I really like it. I just wish that I would remember to use. Well, I do a decent job using my maneuvers and stuff like that, but I just maybe get more creative with it. And that's not really more so much on the rule side of it or whatever, the maneuvers themselves. It's just me personally being able to flare it out and make it work with your story that we're all in. So
no, totally. It's there's something interesting about that too, and it's like you're not like that's not a Drew problem. That's like a D&D player's problem. I can't tell you how many times, like, driving home after a sesh, I've been like, oh, I should have been immune to that ability, or I should have had an extra save, or that doesn't affect whatever. There's a million of them, and I felt that's almost why I asked the question, because I feel like as a battle master, it's like there's so many of those little like, if you, then I things that I think just is one more arena to be like, I could have tried that, or I could have done that. So I think it's important too, when we play, we've had times where it's like the beginning of your next turn, and you'll be like, hey, I could have used that. Is it okay? I want to make it clear to all DMs, let that happen. Like him doing, when we always talk it out, but it's like, let your players do the things they could do, even if they forgot to do it in the moment, as long as it doesn't change the conditions of what's going on. If he wanted to be like, oh, well, I would have been not there for that, and it only makes sense in the second round, I tend not to let that kind of stuff happen. So just communicate with your players. If it's like they have these cool abilities, you want them to use them. That's why they made the character that way. So I think when we've done that, Thorkus, where it's like, you can retcon without, as long as it doesn't damage anything, as long as somebody that was dead is not now alive, or you know what I mean. There's a give and take there, but I think you've handled it really well, and
I was just going to say the same thing. You've been nothing but gracious about when I have been like, oh fuck, I could have done that, and like, oh, so can I? is it going to break it too much if we go back and I just say that was a thing? And
yeah, and
I'll
like,
get
you know,
my
like I
character
said,
sheet?
90% of the time I'll go with you. The only time is if it's like, okay, well, that creature was about to die, or if it changes the conditions, then that's where I think, at least as a team, like we're playing this game together, we both kind of go, we'll get that one next time. You know what I mean? Like, and proceed. But yeah, no, cool.
Well, and cool. The thing too is that what I find is once we do that, we know that for next time.
Yes.
Like we've now utilized it, like, you know, and then went, oh, okay, and it gets like logged in your head better. So then like we remember to do these things the next time because you gave us the opportunity to like actually have it flesh out and happen and roll for it and everything. So
yeah, and
I think
that's
it's cool.
I think it's important. Like I don't try to hide. Like our game is clearly, I mean, we're all performers. Like there's a certain level of like entertainment we strive for in our game, but it's like I think it's important to show that kind of stuff for because I'd say a good half of our audience might be watching to learn how to play this game, and it's like it should be understood that like if you're in a room with your friends, you're gonna be like, hey, is it cool if I do that? And you'd be like, oh yeah, or no, or you know, it's like that. Those kind of things they are a part of the game, and that's fine. Like there's no. You know, it's, and again, like I said, everybody kind of establishes their own systems. I know DMs that are like, if you didn't do, you know, I know DMs that will literally set a timer. They'll be like, you have 30 seconds. If you don't tell me everything you do in those 30 seconds, whatever you didn't say doesn't happen. You know, and it's like, hey, that's one way to run a game, totally.
Yeah.
I don't like that as much because I understand analysis paralysis. It's not that you don't know what to do. It's that you have so much cool stuff to do, you don't know which one. And so, and that FOMO, or like that fear of like, I could have done something a little bit better and maybe change the outcome, you know, like that's a real thing. So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, if you're still in a fighter state of mind, I'll go. Knock me out of the way.
All right, yeah, let's slide over to our next fighter.
The fighter.
The fighter. Brunor, the serpent slayer, shield master of Elmira. I got it all. I got it all in one take. So, although again, so even though Brunor is a cavalier, Thoricus is a battle master, they both would get their features specific to those subclasses at the same level. So like that's why even though they're both different kinds of fighters, they're both getting the same abilities right now.
We're both
at level
giving
9.
abdominals.
Yeah, it's just a sheer fighter thing.
I'm not going to be complaining at level 11 when we both get another attack.
We're getting abominables.
At the same time, I'm not gonna be crying when that happens.
That's a good fighter level. That's a good one.
Oh.
Yeah. Extra
Yeah, and I get to go up to level 9, which means I get to pick up some abdominals.
Yeah, I love the abominables.
Sexy. And I will roll for my health because
Here we go, rolling for health. Let's see. Watch it be a 1. Roll 20 does that. They'll be like, here's a 10 now. Here's a 1. Cha, 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 cha. A 2! Wait, Brunor, you know we have a little rule around here. I like to, this is definitely homebrew. But it's also funny how often it works in the opposition. But I also, for anybody who has the cojones, the huevos to roll and risk the loss of hit points, I like to roll as well and then give you the option to take mine or take yours.
well, roll something.
I did it. It's already, I hid it from you. You don't get to know if it's good or bad.
Okay, well then, I want yours.
It's a 6.
Hey!
Woo!
All right,
Big
so
shot,
yes,
big
you get to add your Constitution modifier to that. Which what is that, Brunor?
9.
Nice. There you go.
So just so I can remember, those temporary hit point maximum. That one, somebody
I
cast
think
a
10 hour.
The I would say the aid spell is finally gone now with the long rest mechanic as well. So those 5 additional hit points at the top of your hit points are now back to your normal max HP. Yeah, the just so you guys know, if you missed the episode, they had the spell Aid cast on them, which gives them additional hit points at the top of their max HP, not temporary hit points. So they just want to make sure when that fades away. I would say during the long rest, you guys probably finally lost that. It had been 8 hours. It does last a long time.
Awesome. So
What does that put you at, Bruno? How many hit points do you have now?
Well, okay, now I'm kind of confused because I think I only got 3. Did we get 5 from that or 3? Because now I'm at 70.
Oh,
I think
Ooh, I'm
my
check. It was 8.
I think it was 5.
it might have,
I'm
79
remembering
max.
5 as well.
But I had 84 written down on my current hit points. 79 was my max before, but I had 84.
Oh, you
so
know
that
what
would
I
be
could
5.
do, Bruno? I could look on D&D Beyond and see what your hit points are there.
just double check because I feel like I thought I was at 70 and then I was like, but I had 73. Now I'm really confused.
It is not a problem at all.
I passed 8, correct? It says
Yeah.
by 5.
Plus 5. So I was wondering,
What your
thought I
original max? This is, and believe me, this is like a common issue with spells. That's why I kind of like, that's a weird way to word that spell. You're gonna have your players like modify their max HP.
Right.
So I have you at 73 hit points, Bruno.
Okay, I was right, and I took them away. Okay, cool.
When
so
you took damage,
73.
probably, yeah. So yeah, I have you at 73 on D&D Beyond. Plus, so now plus 9, 82.
Yeah, baby.
82 and a dope 20 armor class.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, you might
Yeah,
be. I don't know if I incorporated your magic shield on here yet.
+1.
Yeah, the +1. It might be in there. But no, I think you're in. We'll double check it. Don't worry. I'll have to upgrade all these character sheets anyway. So sweet. Yeah, 82. Brunor, I'm interested in similarly kind of the same question that we asked with Thorcus because I certainly have my own thoughts about the class. But how do you feel? It's weird. I want to ask you this question with a caveat. What would you feel about the Cavalier class if you didn't have Brian the Crocodile?
It's a great question.
I think I would have. It's not something I would have picked right away. But I liked the idea. I think it was just an interesting idea of having the ability to ride anything.
Yeah.
Was like really interesting to me. Like that made that just kind of made me think about like what could I negotiate with you as far as what an animal would be and like what a person or creature.
Yes. To what degree?
I
Yeah.
think that's like where my brain went first, and I went, I'm just gonna give that a go. Like,
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily what I would go for. I think first, I always like the idea of being super nimble, like monk or rogue type thing. But the idea of having a lot of spells and being like ADD doesn't help. I can't keep track of skills that I already have, so
I just keep it simple.
Yeah.
I feel sure.
I get hyper fixated, and
Yeah.
so it's nice to be able to focus, but still have the ability to just be like, I'm gonna ride that spider.
Yeah, I thought it's funny. I've talked about the Cavalier class with some other DM friends of mine, and we all kind of agree. I think personally, like, I don't think mounted combat has the benefits that it had in prior editions, and especially when you think about like how rarely the opportunity, like, a lot of times you're in dungeons, you're in caves, you're in dense forests. Like, it's like, how often is there like a straight line that you could ride a horse toward a guy? And even now, it's like there's not a ton of reason to do so. Like, you can use a lance one-handed on a horse. You know what I mean? Like, there's very little mechanically I love the idea of a cavalier. I love the idea of a mounted warrior. And like, I don't know that I personally feel like they fleshed it out enough. And to be real, that's why we've homebrewed Brian the way we have, is I like the idea of like the pet almost where he is a part of the class. It's, it would be like if you're playing like a video game, like a summoner class, like by making Brian part of your initiative, giving you an extra attack in theory with this creature, I think it kind of helped balance some of the candy that like a battle master gets, where they have like 5 versatile abilities that work in a bunch of different conditions. But I love the way you play. It's funny that the Cavalier is based far more on being like a protection, like a guardian, like your ability to mark and stuff like that. And I think it's made you a really cool tank class. I just don't know why that class and the mounted combat class are the same class. You know what I mean? Like, that's what seems strange to me. That's why I was just interested in your thoughts, having now played one through kind of like the developmental levels 4 to 9, and what your experience with the class was.
I think what was really kind of cool about that is I learned through playing the class instead of like, and it was in this world, like this world of like where you're really open to new ideas and stuff. So I just kind of make sense of having a mount that can go through like water and swamp and like crawl up onto things, and like now you've made him be able to fly. So now he's just become like a really cool addition and tool, kind of like having a summon. And so you didn't keep it, like you let the Cavalier class get like a little bit like some fat on it, right? So it's a little bit more flexible. You let it kind of get just a little, it can mean more things. So I think because I didn't have the rigid, like, okay, I'm going to go through and read the books, it was just like talking with Dave about which direction I should take the character in when we were building it, right? And talking to you and stuff. And it was that kind of thing where what would narratively be fun and interesting and goofy, and like, I think, didn't I just text you, like, can't I just have a crocodile named Brian? And you're like,
You absolutely
yeah.
did. Yes. Yeah, that's when I knew I had a D&D player on my hands. I was like, that's, yeah, I know those are the texts that matter in my life. Like, yes, oh, and who did you know in your history? I love it. Like, yeah, no. Yeah, and it's funny, too, because it's like, I feel like now I would, like, I would be like, I want to play a Cavalier, and I'm like, I still, you know what I mean? Like, I want to play Brunor, the Serpent, and I want to play it with Brian the Crocodile. Like, I think what you've done with the class is fantastic, and I love what you were talking about, that idea of, like, enjoying the fact that you can ride anything. And, you know, it's like, I think that's fun. I think the whole point of my spiel is I think I need to make some tweaks to the mounted combat rules and give you some benefit.
Like, you learn the rules so you know how to break them in the right way, right? Like, you have to learn how to do it so that you know how to, like, undo it while still playing the game.
Breaking the game, you're just making it more accessible and fun.
Right,
and that's true. That's kind of what I did with Cavalier. Like, you tell me what's true about, like, this thing. Okay, I have Brunor. We picked these characters up off of Roll20, right? And so this is what is true about Brunor. So then what else is true?
Yeah.
Brunor's a sea elf, so then she'd have some weird mount, and it wouldn't be a shark. It'd have to be something that also goes on land. Like, you know, you have to just kind of, like, believe in it. And then usually, like, luckily we have a DM that's like, yeah, rule of cool, like, this let's just do it. So that's been really cool, is like, if you just allow it to happen, like, no one's gonna hurt you for goofing with the rules a little bit.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, I think tweaks on the fly is that it's like every game, you know, it's like you make it work for you make it work for your players. Some things that I've done in this campaign I wouldn't do in other campaigns, and vice versa, and that's fair to each player group that we have. I think, like I said, I respect the rules a lot. I do try to adhere even my rule modifications, the homebrew stuff that I do, based on the balance system and structure of the game. I do have a lot of respect for the rules, and I do think it's important to know those. It helps you gauge your successes. Like, you by being limited, succeeding over those limitations then becomes a triumph, and that's where I think a lot of joy comes from. So I try to make it where you guys just have more options, not necessarily like the one that's clearly the best and do that every round kind of stuff, you know. So
we have plenty of options.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have been doing some really creative gameplay, man. I'm having a blast. Somebody was like, "How do you keep up with them?" I was like, dude, it's why I love DMing this group of players. It's like, I feel like I get it. There should be a seatbelt on this chair, because I'm just like, all right, here we go. Like, something's coming.
Oh my god, it's gonna happen. That was one of my favorite clips on the montage or whatever, was the silence from Baptist, and all of us were like,
Drew is talking about, we did, as a little, like, thank you to everybody and just like a little walk down memory lane, I did a little 10-minute supercut of the first year of Weed&d, and so you can find that over on youtube.com/ArtHardStudios. It's called the 10-minute supercut, but honestly, it's just a blast. If you've engaged in this show in any capacity, there's a moment in there for you, and there are some doozies. These people, Divid's Shatter monologue just touches something special.
oh god, it's so
montage.
It's so good.
That's like, all right, and the Chaws. Oh my gosh, all the Chaws.
You guys, I love the Chaws. I've been watching that all week. This has been the best. Last week was incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
I was so excited to see you. Okay,
I know,
sorry.
yeah. We
a
just so
really
you
good
know,
day.
we'll be jumping right back into the main campaign next week. I can tell you, as like a DM, there's like some times where you're like, ooh, these next campaigns could be cool, and there's ones where you're like, oh my god, I can't wait for my players to see this. It's the latter in this case. I've got some crazy shit coming up for you guys, and I'm really excited to bring you up a level so I can throw harder shit at you.
Oh, what? No.
Yes.
That's it.
Oh, and then, yeah, so let me see if we're good there. Okay, I'm gonna smoke, and I'm done.
And then again, I just want to make sure if you guys double check when you do when you actually go to your class and level the drop down level or whatever for your character. When you change it to level 9, if you look on your character sheet, there should be just a little spot that says proficiency bonus. I think it's near the top left, and that should change to +4. Just make sure that it does that, and then it'll auto apply that to all the stuff that it applies to.
Yep.
Mine did it. Cool.
Okay. Here, let me hop.
Yeah, it was weird. On my sheet, I had not updated to even level 8.
Yeah, it's funny because we've done. Yeah, the actual. It's strange because it's there's the drop down menu, and then that's where you change the level. So Brunor, yours is now. It updated.
I did it.
Yeah, you did it. You did. Yeah.
I did it.
All right.
I did it. Yeah, I was fixing all my my inventory because I had to take out my 2 healing potions because I used them both in the last battle.
They didn't last
long. And then
long.
I also what was the other thing? Oh, the lantern.
The lantern. Rip
Big
lantern.
brain.
I want that montage of the lantern in your bag so bad. Just all those many places we went together, and it's just it in the bag though.
I remember when we first met, and it's just we're in our store, cool lantern.
It was just that random lantern in the tower.
On sale? Sweet.
Yeah. I take it. Yeah, I was like, it's mine now.
Yes. Yeah. And see, that's D&D. Later on, you're like, and then I used it for a reason. It's I love the game. That's why, as a DM, I encourage people to give out weird items to their players because they'll always find fun ways to use them.
So true.
So sweet, Brunor. Congrats. Our fighters are level 9 now. Who wants next? Who's up?
Wait, does Brian level up, or has anyone given him a penis recently?
No, no level up for Brian. He's pretty beefy already as far as his abilities. What is his max HP right now? That's all I was curious about.
Pull that up right now. His max HP
36,
is 36.
36. Okay, and I remembered. That's crazy. And they say smoking weed kills your memory. But yet I know how many hit points this Dracodile has. Take that, science.
That's in you forever.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So yeah, no, he's still there. Brian progresses in a bit more from narrative growth than a direct level system like you guys do.
Right.
So
Feeding penis to him. We get it.
exactly right. You need a bigger, better dragon's penis.
Okay, gotta find another dragon.
You got a sponge that was like, did you guys grab the Drider's penis?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Funny.
It was a
It
woman's
was
spider.
Drider penis.
It was a woman's spider.
Check. You have to roll for Drider penis. Roll for penis. Roll.
All right, 5. Who's jumping up next? Who wants to level up next?
I was gonna ask if I can go. I'm kind of between the physical and spellcasting.
That's
arenas.
right. We'll take our shift. You're a natural transfer over here, buddy. So yes. Ooh. Oh, yo. What about that sneak attack damage?
That sneak attack, though.
Is there a microphone?
Yo.
Furious 5d6 sneak attack.
Dude, yeah. You do 5d6 additional damage with your sneak attacks now, man. Oof.
Holy hell, Brunor, that's a lot of damage.
Yep, sure is. Thoricus, let's bring it on back to Rion and let him have the focus.
Do you want so yeah, dude, dope. Your proficiency bonus obviously goes up as well. You're a level 9 character. Your sneak attack, holy crap, 5d6 additional damage. That is so sweet.
It's tasty.
Rogues, man. They only get hit you once, but they hit you like a truck.
Hit you real good.
Let's see, what else do you get? You get a roguish ability here. Oh no, you get the dope
do.
one.
I get magical ambush.
Ooh, tell me what it does, Rial.
So, starting at 9th level, if you are hidden, which I'm prone to do, from a creature when you cast a spell on it, the creature has disadvantage on any saving throw it makes against the spell this turn. And that might go real good with my spell sniper ability, which means they probably won't see it coming.
That's true, yeah, you have crazy range, you're insanely good at stealthing, and if you're invisible, they get disadvantage. And let's not add your third part of that whammy, is you do a lot of illusion magic. So it's like, being able to create an illusion from far away that people are more susceptible to is pretty powerful.
Yeah. I may not be able to snipe illusion stuff though, because I think it needs
Oh,
an
you're
attack
right.
roll.
Doesn't it need an attack roll? You're right. See?
But I think Create Bonfire and Ray of Frost, I'd get like 120 feet.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
could just like, bat.
And Ray of Frost slows their movement too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be like, you stay back there for a while, buddy. We'll see you in a few rounds while we're firing arrows at you.
It's 2d8 cold and it slows their movement by 10, I think.
So good.
That's all right.
That's a cool combo. I like that. Smell sniper.
If only I could.
Is that a fresh pie you got over there?
The funniest thing I've heard today. Oh my god.
Dude, that would
Band names.
They have that like change one letter from a new spell. That was an accidental one.
If I could, I almost said smell snipe. If I could smell snipe a prestidigitation and just like put a fart smell like 120 feet away, they're like, oh god, make them fight each other. Dude,
Did you just fart? No. Dude, I heard you.
I smell it right now. And then
A minor
Rihanna's
illusion. Oh, that's good. I don't know that that's raw, but I would allow it. Why did the war go off? There was a stealthy fart thrown from hundreds of feet away.
Part that started it all.
All right, you're level 9 now, so your Arcane Trickster spellcasting. You still know the same amount of spells, but you can now cast. It's actually the exact same. Your spells at 4 first level and 2 second levels.
Yep. I think it's not till the 13th I get some
Yeah.
third level shit.
Yeah, Arcane Tricksters, just like Eldritch Knights and stuff, they're kind of like a 1/3 caster is what they're considered. So it's like the Rangers and Paladins are kind of half casters, and Arcane Tricksters, Eldritch Knights for fighters, they're all kind of considered a third casters. And then you have pure casters like Tin of Smoothhands, who's a cleric. Divot is a pure caster and a bard. In 5th edition, they're pure casters. And then you've added the Warlock, which is another pure caster, which multi-classes very well with it. So
Yeah, it does.
sweet. What about your hit points there, Rial? You don't get to roll the D10. I think yours is what, a D8?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, D8. So either you can take 5 plus your con modifier or roll for it.
Man, my con modifier sucks. Let's roll.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun,
Yeah.
dun-dun-dun,
Yeah.
dun-dun-dun. Ooh, nice.
All right.
Hey, Rial, I'm gonna roll too.
All right.
Oh.
That's a sexy roll
So
there.
I don't know if you want to take yours or mine.
Gus, can you read his mind? Did he roll an 8?
Oh no.
No.
Sweet. I'll roll with the 7. Thank you.
I rolled a 1, so dope. That coin flip, Gus be looking out for you.
Thank
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be a lot of phone calls from me.
He just plays Divot so well. I'm like, he's got to have like just a skosh of clairvoyance.
Just in real life, you got a little of that. His beard starts falling out. No!
We can start sending messages to Divot. Dear Divot,
Dear
what should I do? And then just don't.
No.
Dear
Don't.
David, what do I do?
I think okay, so what? 7. That's pretty good.
7, nice. What's your max HP now, Rial?
This puts me at a flat 60.
Dude, nice.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all for a rogue. For a rouge, a rouge, as so many people choose to spell it.
Dude, after being spider bait last time, I was like, ooh, I'm getting a little concerned. I haven't been hurt like that for a while, so I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, it's true. Stuff's gonna be getting at you guys a little more frequently. You'll find.
Better be sneaky about it. Just be
Gotta be
sneaky.
sneaky sneaks.
I don't. That's
Every rogue ever. Should we sneak in?
should be sneaky.
Every paladin's like, nah.
Nah. Already like 20 feet ahead. Clanging around.
Speaking of clanging around, I'm ready to go if that's at the end of your leveling up.
Yeah, is that you, Rial? I think that's it.
I think that is. I will address a question Drewby brought up. Maybe we can do it in our actual next sesh. the phase spider web he got, does that upgrade our weapons at all, or we'll cut to that next time?
That's true, actually. You did your blacksmithing during your downtime there, but you had the choice to choose 2 of the bows, Thorkus. Do you know which ones you did?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say if I could just do the 2, then I was gonna upgrade. What map are we in? Theirs?
I think we're main. Where is everybody?
Daughter of Ash, son of a birch.
Oh, that's right. Yes, the daughter-son duo.
The siblings.
Yes, the
The
siblings.
twins.
Right. But then I said something. I was really high. I know. I was really high because I
It's
was
a side
there.
effect of the. I wonder why.
No, I said something about using an inspiration to talk to the mountain about if it knew some other way so I could try.
Oh, that's right. Hey, we didn't finish that,
three
so we'll
and-
actually play that out in game.
And then you went on a ride?
Because you just got done with your magic.
Oh, right. And that was the reward instead, was that we found out we could.
But yeah, we would still basically come back. No, that's fair. Let's leave that for the story.
Okay.
Fair point. I was like, holy crap, did I not resolve that? So, no,
No,
we'll handle that pretty early in our next game. Next Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday.
Real quick before we jump into Tina, same question for you, Rial. How did you? I'm curious because I've heard a lot of people do not like the Arcane Trickster. Again, not to plant seeds of thoughts in your own, but a lot of people don't like the Arcane Trickster class. I think they're pretty cool. What have your been thoughts so far playing that class?
That kind of surprises me. That's like the overall consensus. And I don't know, you were like the best mama bird to me because this is literally my first D&D experience ever. And I felt this was like a really good class to start with. Like having like the rogue as a base, but Arcane Trickster peppers in the spell casting.
Learn the spell
I feel like I would have been pretty fucking intimidated if I went with like a pure caster or even a half caster. So this was like a perfect way for me to start and like get my feet wet.
Yeah,
and so I've both so far.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you've used the strengths of the class very well. And it's again, I agree with you. Although I like Eldritch Knights, and they're a same category, like third class casters, and a lot of people don't like that class as well. That's kind of one of those. I encourage a lot of people to make a lot of characters at first when you're new to the game. Like make a bunch and just be like, oh, this one seems really cool. Then play that one. You know, it's like there's some play styles that work better with different players. And classes, and so it's like they kind of work. There's a little, they work together a lot, and I think you, with your storyline choices of the way Rial plays, it's like they bleed together really well. It's like really easy to kind of go along with. So, but yeah.
It's cool how it's all evolved, and like you said, it just kind of like it all comes together in this perfect little way. It's been a fucking blast.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know that I necessarily want to play an Arcane Trickster, but I want to play Rial Othervon. Just the way I'm not sure I want to be a Cavalier, but I want to play Bruno and Brian. Like you guys are like, I'm just like, oh, that character would be super fun to play. It's such a treat as a DM to get up to play with you. It's all the characters work so well. It's so fun. I love it.
We are two wild and crazy guys.
Wild and crazy guys.
Y'all are such treats. I'm gonna smoke to how treaty y'all are.
Yeah, let's smoke the treat.
Smoking the trees.
The smoke for being a treat. I already have a joint. I'll just hit this. All right. Well, Rial Othervon, a nice level. All you guys are doing pretty well on these hit points so far, so That doesn't bode well for whoever's left.
No.
Which, Tina, you said you wanted to jump up our girl Shantia, your connection with your new god. You made the shift. It's one of our highlights. You used to be a trickery cleric, and you made the shift to life magic, shunning Tharizdun and embracing Shantia. And this is, again, like, not a cool, you don't get a lot of cool, fancy little features. Not like a cool, I can do this thing now. But you get a 5th level spell.
Yes, and I was peeping at Scrying. Oh my goodness.
Yo, Scrying is
That's
cool.
crazy.
Yes.
What is that?
Scrying.
Let me pull it up. But
Tell me
basically,
about
like,
it, stud.
I can basically like spy on somebody. Like get a little scene of where they're going, and really know I'm doing it, but probably they don't. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It'll give you, it's almost like you get to open up. You guys have actually, in the game, you experienced Scrying once when there was that little orb in the Dryad's Cult that Divot could see, Tina couldn't. That was Mithra casting Scry on you guys. She was watching you in the Dryad's cult the whole time.
Oh my god.
And so,
well,
yeah.
now, like, I'm going to be on, like, Scry alert all the time.
Yes,
Yeah,
Scries
it's a
are
dope spell.
nice
I'm
little.
pretty
Yeah.
excited about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it does. It's a cool spell because it's like directly related to how well you know the thing too. Like the person gets to make a save. It's not like a guaranteed you get to like just open a window and look at what they're doing. But if they know you're casting it, they can let you do it. You can communicate. You can like it's like you're in the room. You're literally a fly on the wall.
Yeah,
You can
I like feel everything like I'm there, right?
yeah you hear it,
that's
you see
crazy.
it. So it's a pretty cool. Again, like I said, now we're getting into 5th level magic. You know. Magic only goes to 9th level spells, so 5th magic, we're over like the first hurdle of the first half of magic. Things start getting game changing. Another spell you get access to as a 5th level spell is Raise Dead. So you can now, as long as something died within 10 days, you can resurrect them. Now it beats the crap out of their body for quite a while. They get -4 when they come out to like everything, their attacks, their saves, and everything. And then every time they long rest, that gets reduced by 1. But it's like it takes such a rack on their body that for like days afterwards they're messed up. Not everybody can be Divot, who just like rolls in and teams up with death, and walks out like a boss.
No, if only.
Yeah.
But that's cool. And you said 10 days.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
doesn't have to happen immediately.
Yeah, and that's
That's
where
dope.
your
That's really
current resurrection was. What is it like? It's like a minute or something. It's pretty short.
Yeah.
And
I think it is. Yeah, a minute.
It's something like that. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
your window is very tiny, so it's like, oh, somebody died in front of you, you can save them. Now it's like, 10 days is you could roll into a town and there's people that died within that time frame that you could tried to it's like it's crazy what that brings. And you being a life cleric, it's such a natural fit.
Yeah. Just like deepening that connection to Shantia. It's really cool to see what's coming of it.
Yeah, dude, and to highlight one more time, like you are a divine caster, so what's really cool is you get access to all of the cleric spells, and you get to choose. You basically pray to Shantia at the beginning of every, at the end of every long rest, and she gives you the spells that you ask for that day. So it's like you don't have to have Raise Dead in your pocket. Somebody could die, and then like the next day you're like, oh, well, let me get Raise Dead, and as long as they're good for 10 days. There is a caveat: they need to have body parts. If say their arm gets cut off and you Raise Dead, it doesn't bring their arm back. If their face is cut off or they're decapitated and their head is disconnected from their body, it does not fix that. So there, it's like
Oh my god.
or a disintegration. I know we talked about that a little earlier. If you get turned into a pile of dust, Tina won't be able to like sprinkle magic life on you and turn you into like a little dust person.
So don't get turned into a pile of dust.
Although maybe I would do something fun with that.
I think so.
I'd like to say no, but that.
Any
Like a
other
little-
body parts? We have an unlimited body bag. Just like chuck it in. Like I got room.
What do you need? You need a jaw? I got a jaw in here.
Let's bring this guy back to life.
You guys managed to make Krampus's sack worse after you get it. Like, it used to be Krampus's sack. That's terrible. But now you're like, oh, we'll just keep loading dead bodies in there. It'll be all right. Krampus is like, what the fuck, dudes?
They're good for like 10 days. Fine.
Yeah, they.
So yeah, Tina,
Oh my.
you get an extra. You can cast one more 3rd level spell per day, which is nice as well. You can cast 3 of those, 3 2nd levels. 3 4th, 3 2nd, 3 3rds, and 4 1st levels. And then now you have once per long rest, a dope 5th level spell. You also just encountered Insect Plague that the Phased Rider casted on you. That's a 5th level spell that you also have access to. Big giant dome of doom and damage. So yeah, very.
The range on that is 300 feet.
Dude.
I didn't realize. That's crazy.
Yeah, you and Rial could make like a real bad day for a few people from far away.
Is it a big deal?
I'm gonna have to start describing everything like 350 feet away from what you guys are doing.
It's like the meanwhile cut. Meanwhile.
And down the road, you see a carriage that has people in it. All right. No, Thorcus will add the. We'll do that. I'm sorry, I was just catching up in chat. That's my bad. The Faith Spider Web stuff. We'll do that in game. I didn't realize. I didn't see that before. Sweet, Tina. So all we've got left for you again. Your proficiency bonus also goes up as everybody's does at 9th level. You know the same amount of cantrips, so no changes there. But you do get to either roll for or take the average for hit points. What are you gonna do?
I'm feeling pretty spicy, you know? I just want to roll for it. And it's a D10, right?
So for you're a D8, yeah. Clerics are a D8.
Okay, thank you.
Fighters are a D10, and then barbarians are a D12.
Oh!
My people are rolling in hit points tonight.
Would you look at that?
Tina, I'm also gonna roll. No, I'm kidding.
I think I'll take mine.
You take mine.
Oh my gosh. So I'm currently at 64 right now. So
What's your con
Yes.
modifier?
+2.
Nice. You get 10 more hit points.
Woo, oh my gosh, a 74. Oh my gosh.
That's a big. Yeah, I think you had like 3 hit points last time, so this is like it's like gaining 4 levels in comparison.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I can breathe up here. This is awesome.
Your girl's not dying all the time.
Whoa. But yeah, that's it for me.
Dope. What about you, Tina? So you have a pretty unusual experience of everybody else, where you have now played 2 subclasses of cleric. You had a little bit of time as the trickster cleric, and then you shifted over to life cleric. What's your thoughts on like how have you experienced those 2? Did you enjoy one playstyle more than the other? I know obviously Tina does, but what about Abby?
No, yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, I kind of wish I got to do more with the trickster class, right? Because I don't know, there's just so many fun things, like right at those low levels, you can do so much fun stuff already. I think it'd be interesting to like level up a character as far as we've gone at least with that, just to see what kind of juicy stuff I could do, right?
Yeah, Mistra, your love before she was eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex, that's your brother. She was a evenly matched cleric of your level. So that I kind of had a little bit of that encounter built to be like, here's what might have been, like here's how your powers would have operated a little later. But then your brother ate her.
Looks like you made the right choice.
It's a complicated family tree, okay? It's complicated.
Dude, it's like one of you's dead, the other one's alive. Looks like old Shanti had your back.
You know,
Yeah.
the family that murders together
Oh, okay.
stays together.
Stays. Yeah, that's it.
They teared that lady in half.
They did. You guys have done some. There's been some pretty vicious deaths. Maybe I should do that. We'll do a supercut of disgusting, where I made references to food that ruined food for people. I'll do like my mashed potato, spaghetti sound,
The
like
Jello was bad.
the Jello, the skin, like the waterbed skin that's like swinging around pudding in a stocking. That was a fun one.
Lake chicken.
That's good.
Yummy.
Lake chicken.
Yes, smoldering flesh of children.
Yum.
I don't know, guys. Sometimes I go back and look at this stuff, and I'm like, I don't know where that. I don't know where that particular detail got picked up. But we
Came
went
out of
there.
me.
I apologize for nothing. We've had a lot of fun. Sweet, yeah. And it's cool too. I'll acknowledge. I think the cleric class in 5e is fantastic. Like admittedly, cleric is one of those classes that almost everybody thinks you have to have in a group. And so D&D 5e was like, what's a good way to make sure somebody wants to play a cleric? We'll make them super freaking dope. And they have it's like you get to wear dope armor, you can succeed in battle, you have the hit points to back it up a little bit, your spell selection's amazing, like you've learned Spiritual Guardians is one of the dopest 3rd level spells of all time. It's so good. And so,
I think like the dopeness, it's just like having such a dope character to play has really like made because I'm still a new player, right? So like sometimes like looking at all the spells, it felt overwhelming, but just seeing all the dopeness potential, it like really eased the journey.
Yo, real talk. And that's what's cool too. It's like, Tina, that's a great point. It's really hard for new players to look at a massive list of spells. It's like, and they all have little minute details in them that modify certain things. It can be overwhelming. But I think what you just said is really important. Just reading the ones and like which ones excite you, take those spells. Maybe they're not the one that gives you the min-max best opportunity in the moment, but why not just pick the things that sound really dope that you want to do, and I think Divid is great at that. I think you guys have been really awesome about that.
Yeah, it's been like I feel like I'm able to look at it with fresh eyes because I haven't played a lot. So I'm like, what makes the most sense for Tina?
For Tina.
What would she be doing? You
Yeah.
know? So like, I don't have to worry about like, is this gonna like, am I gonna be like bulked out? Is this gonna be the most awesome thing I could be
Power
possibly doing?
gaming.
Or is it the most Tina thing I'm possibly doing?
No,
Yeah,
I
it's just-
always enjoy our conversations when we talk about like what spells you're looking at, because again, I admittedly, when I do get a chance to play, I tend to play with people that are kind of like power gamers by nature, and not that that's any better or worse, it's just the way that they play. And so it's like, it's almost like everybody knows what spell, there's no question. It's like, obviously you're going to get this, you're going to get this, you're going to get this. And it's very boring if I'm being honest with you. And it's like when you know it, and it's like, I love the way that a lot of your magic and all of you make these choices in your character. So much of what you do is built from the character. And I think that's one of the strengths of 5e. I think you can build from the idea of a character in a really good way, rather than the inverse, like having to make the thing you want and then make a character that fits all the conditions that you want to play in to make that character optimized. 5e is just kind of like build out from your background, build out from, you know, the standard life that you lived just before you became this. There's something really nice that I think you guys as players have picked up on right away, which showcases the thing I'm talking about. Like, this is why you guys have become such good D&D players so fast. I think 5e has, I mean, obviously you guys are incredible, but I think 5e has done a really good job of making that accessibility possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for saying we're good players. That's nice.
So I drink out of a mason jar. Most of us do here on the show. And I also keep weed in my mason jars. So there is every now and again a sesh where while we're doing this, I'm looking at my water and there's just like a little piece of weed floating around. This is one of those times. It's up, so I'm going to take a sip while I have a chance. Hydrate. All right, guys. Sweet. Anything else, Tina? I think we touched all the bases. Oh, that's right.
it,
There, wait.
yeah.
Gus is showing off. We showed these off during the stream a little bit too. We've got Gus got us all some custom WeeD&D mason jars. Mine, obviously, has weed in it. But yeah, it's got the little pot leaf, the Ganjaria symbol with D&D on it, and then the glass jar itself says WeeD&D with our little pot leaf logo as well. We love them so much, guys. This was truly a cherished gift for all of us.
You're all beautiful people, and you deserve the finest things in the world. So
Well, you, sir, are the finest things in the world, so I appreciate that.
Such a good lad.
You fucking treats. Y'all are just treats.
You snacks. You're all just the best human freaking
I want to be a
beings.
zebra cake.
Good call.
All right, Tina. Yeah, and if until next week when we play, if you do have any questions about any spells or anything, anytime, I'm always around.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
Cool
Beans. Cool beans. All right. Here we go. So if that's it, then we're moving over to our revenant himself, the Bard Warlock, the Bardlock.
Yeah, the resident revenant.
Oh,
Nice.
please do a divot rap. That'd be so sick.
Blah, blah. All right, it's in the works.
Put that down. Just put that down. Yeah, we did get, I don't know if you saw or not, but our good man Drow 007 got his Drip Drop Titty Flop album, and he could not stop raving about how hilarious you are, Gus, which is no surprise
no
to
way.
any of us. But yeah, no, he loved it, man. He loved it. You're amazing.
Yo, I'd be so high by the end of the stream. Sometimes I'm not looking at chat as much, but like I appreciate everybody in there so much.
Yeah, for real, guys. You guys are. I mean, that's pretty much what we did for 4 hours last week. Is just tell you guys how much we love you. But it's not enough. Still, it's just this. This is the best. I love it. I'm telling you guys. I got some shit for you.
Oh man.
Oh man, it's gonna be dope. All right.
scared.
I'm pretty excited. Now I got some ninth level characters to throw shit at. Sweet. So moving over to my boy. So Divot, you've decided to beef up your Warlock.
Yeah, we're gonna lean into it and go ahead and take that third level of Warlock for that Pact boon.
Get that Pact boon. Do you know which boon you're gonna take? That's so it's a little different. You have like your patron who grants you certain abilities. You also get this like Pact boon that is given to you by the guy, but it's not necessarily the same thing. So you have a couple options there. Do you know which boon you're looking at?
Oh, man, with the expansions recently, there are a lot of options, and it was just starting to be overload. And then something came to me, and if you're down with this is kind of what I want to do.
Hit me.
I want to do Pact of the Tome, and I would like the Tome to be the scrimshaw on my arms. Like, I would like to finally understand what the symbols and stuff mean. And I know that it's supposed to be a book that you can lose. I could lose my arms.
That's a great argument. How can I argue with that?
Dude, funny enough, Skeleton Gus lost an arm by the end of the night.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing is, it's like, yeah, you can lose the book, but then you can perform an hour ceremony to get it back. So it's like, again, this doesn't, to me, feel like a game breaker, Divot. Like, it's not like, oh, now that he's got him on his arm. It's like this book that I was probably never going to reference unless you mentioned it anyway. Like, we would have just dealt with the 3 cantrips more often than not. So I don't have a problem with that, and it wraps right in. And also, to kind of like, I mean, if we want to narratively give it some function, you did just devour one more acorn. You did devour Mithra, who was one of the servants,
And I love the idea that, we've already talked about how there's all this intricate artwork on my bones now, and I don't know what it means necessarily. So, like, as I get farther into my relationship with my patron, maybe I start to understand more of it.
Yeah, and it's again, if you recall, it was like you suddenly became aware of memories that weren't yours. You had access to knowledge that you couldn't really understand, and so whereas a lot of character progression, it comes from like, oh, I'm now learning new things. These could be things that the infinite knowledge of death that death has granted you. You're finally like being able to piece some of these greater lessons together. And again, it literally is like worst case scenario. It would be gone for an hour, and then you would get your book back. So, like, if this was like some kind of weird book campaign where like I was targeting your books, like you were all stamp collectors,
like a page master thing.
Yeah. Ooh, dope. Yeah. Oh my God. I was talking shit, but that's a great idea. Fucking love page
his arms like Thor's hammer, so like if he like loses his arm somewhere, he just like has to like hold his little like chest out for a minute, and then it'll like shoot through walls and eventually come back to it.
Amazing.
Oh, I'm there, dude.
It takes an hour for that to charge up.
Oh shit.
Question, like, did Death see Divot like go, no, I danced with the one that brought me? Like, did you like did Death like see that happen? Yeah.
So all right. So the last thing that kind of happened, like Divot died again, and Death was kind of mad about it. Like he was like, "You're not supposed to be here again," and so he told him not to come back. And so since then, if you'll recall, Divot, like when you were riding on the top of that carriage on the Malachite Mountain, the road around the Malachite Mountains, like you've seen the Red Mask of Death watching you, but he has been suspiciously silent. Now, Glacius did present a pretty interesting piece of information where he said that like Death's power might not be as strong soon. Like he kind of like challenged what you said, Divot, when you were like, like, I know the guy you answer to. He was like, yeah, well, things might be changing. So, there's like some interesting information there between Glacius and kind of what the Feywild people are up to. But yeah, that's the end of what I have to say.
Okay.
Snaps for Bam, yes.
The end.
The best outro ever, and that's all.
Yeah.
And that's the way it happened. Fucking Walter Cronkite. All right, cool. So, I'm down with that, Divot. That was my 10-minute answer to your 3-second question.
My man. Wouldn't trade a second of it. So I'm trying to let my character inform my decisions, because there are some like tempting things that you can pick. So for anybody who doesn't know with the Pact of the Tome, I basically get 3 extra cantrips from anywhere in the game.
What?
Any class, no restriction.
Which is almost overwhelming to pick from. So I decided that I was gonna let myself pick like one just really strong one because it would be a disservice not to. And I'm gonna go guidance.
Yes, very, very good cantrip.
Can we? So what does that do exactly?
Guidance.
For anybody who
So
doesn't know.
you'll grant. I'll give you the exact actually, rather than like my memory of it. But basically, it's a cleric cantrip.
Guy dance?
Yeah,
With a bunch
it's
of like
dope.
dudes.
And it is
dancing.
dope. It offers
Fieri.
advantage on skill checks.
Oh, guy dance! Oh my gosh!
Oh, good old guy dance.
Yeah. Guy dance.
Dance of the guy.
Look at him go.
Oh, guy dance. He's a
heard
smell
tell.
sniper. All right. So yes, you touch one willing creature. They have to be willing. Consent is important. Once before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to an ability check of its choice. It can roll the dice before or after making the check, so it's like they don't necessarily have to use it if they pass or whatever. And then the spell ends. So it lasts for up to a minute. So anything like, say, for instance, like Rial's about to sneak off in front of you. Boom, you hit him with guidance. He gets to add a d4 to that stealth check. You know, you guys are doing a history check.
I'm like, if I may offer this guidance
Yes.
on this history check on this, the day of your daughter's wedding.
And yeah, I know it is. It's funny because certain skills, it's like, oh, you give them guidance on an athletics check. You like give them a boost, right? Like, how do you give them guidance on a history check? You know, it is kind of a magical thing in nature, you know. And so, but yes, no, please always do it that way.
Sick.
Definitely powerful. Yes, a divination cantrip.
Tight. So stealing that from the cleric class. And then the other one is like, I just couldn't pass it up flavor-wise for the character. I want to go spare the dying.
Nice. Yes. I believe you just, if something is at 0, you stabilize it. But again, there's a reason that we go ahead and read these.
Which makes it a little different than Tina's ability to just bring somebody back from the dead.
Yeah.
I can stabilize them without the negative effects that your thing has, although you can straight up bring somebody back from the dead, which I can't do.
You like
Yeah.
preventing it more so,
Yeah,
like stopping it.
Yeah, so yours,
Yeah.
Divot, your people need to be at 0 hit points, and then you stabilize them. Again, we kind of dealt with this a little bit in the battle with Tina. When you're stable, you're still unconscious, you're just not dying anymore. You're not making death saving throws. You're now at 0, but not dying anymore. If they then, if say that didn't happen, they were at 0 and they were dying, and they failed all 3 death saving throws and were officially like fully dead, Tina could still bring them back from the dead with raised dead. And so it's like, yes, you're right, David. Yours is like a better implemented in the short term. Hers is like a much higher magic that racks the body and the soul. Matt Mercer came up with a really good idea for how resurrection works in his systems. I don't think we need to bring that into play yet because our magic is still pretty young, but that might come into play at a higher level. I think he did a really amazing design with that. And it's kind of like you have to make a check to see if you can be resurrected after multiple times. So it's like harder for your life force to come back each time. And it makes it a little pressure when when life is on the line. So,
Yeah.
Woo!
but yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. Spare the dying.
So again, that's not like a superpower gamey choice. That's just one that I picked because it makes sense for Divot to be able to do that.
Yeah, it fits so well. And I like the idea
Yeah.
of it being tattooed on your bones. You know what I mean? It's almost like the letters on your fingers can spare the dying. I like that idea. That's cool.
Yeah, right?
Badass.
And then the third one, I have a question for you. How do you feel about Shillelagh?
Shillelagh is such a cool spell that I feel like is ruined because like mostly it's just druids that have it. Now I will tell you, especially just having gotten the Ice Blight, like the Ice Blight's going to be stronger than the Shillelagh. But if you gave the Ice Blight to somebody else, or if for some reason you didn't have it with you, Shillelagh is super dope because it takes a quarterstaff or a club that you have. It lets you use your charisma instead of strength for attack and damage. And the weapon damage die becomes a D8. So it's like you take a club or a staff and you imbue it with some of your own magic nature and it becomes a magical weapon. But because you have a magical weapon already that's a little stronger than it, it's a great spell. And again, if it's in the situation where you could literally pick up a log and then make it a magic weapon, it's... And the Irish person in us, let's be real.
Could I pick up my fists and make them a magic weapon?
It specifically says staff or club. And again, it's like the definition of what a quarterstaff or a club is like literally a piece of wood. So it's a pretty loose, like you can just have a little club with you or something, to make it easy. But yeah, it specifically doesn't work because if you think about it, then you would be turning your unarmed strikes into a D8, and that's like a monk thing. Like, and monks have to level up to do that. So
okay,
yeah.
All right, yeah, I had to ask some questions about it.
No,
it was
totally.
tempting. I do think I'm gonna pass on that one for now because I have the ice blight, which is tempting.
It's a great weapon you got there. That extra D6, and again, I'm sorry I said frost damage, and then it's funny I even paused, but it's like it's cold damage. It's in 5e, it's cold damage that it does.
Sure, Mr. Freeze.
We all knew what it was.
But chill touch is still necrotic, and why? But
get me started on that. Not just necrotic, Real. It's not a touch attack. It's a beam. It's both words in chill touch are wrong. Both of them.
Status. We're getting status.
It is a necrotic ranged attack.
He's getting status. He's getting status, you guys. He's getting status.
No. Oh, no.
He already got status. He said don't get him statted, and now he's getting statted.
How dare they? How dare they? There's a spell called Finger of Death.
Mute this whole time.
Oh no! Did we lose any color commentary?
Oh, plenty.
Oh.
It's all good. Whatever.
We'll have to ask your roommate.
I was gonna say, couldn't I just make not brass knuckles, but couldn't I make wood gauntlet things so that Divot could?
Again, specifically says club or quarterstaff. So it's because it's a druid spell, so they literally were like, what weapons are druids proficient in? Clubs and quarterstaffs, so they can make them magical. Not thinking warlocks are going to be like, hey, let me get a shillelagh too. That sounds pretty sweet. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's as far as it's not a limiting spell. Like finding a piece of wood nearby and calling it a stick or a quarterstaff or club is pretty easy. So
Put the leg off a table or something.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah,
magic table leg,
and then go shillelagh, and it turns into a magical shillelagh.
Well, all right. I have one or two other things written down, but do you have any suggestions?
Ooh, man. Let me take a peep real quick, because what's nice is some of the better. I would say, obviously, Prestidigitation jumps to mind really quickly, but you guys already have it. Minor Illusion is really good again, but Real has it. Vicious Mockery is really good, but again, you know what I mean? That's where you start. So I would say take a peep at classes that you don't have represented extremely well, which is like the Sorcerer or Wizard. So let me just take a peep here. Ones that are good out of this. I mean, there's some pretty good stuff here. Again, nothing that particularly isn't represented in your group. Mage Hand is handy.
I like Control Flame, but it doesn't apply to Magical Fire.
Right. What was that? Fairy Fire is a first level spell, right? Yeah. Yes. Right? Or is that a cantrip somewhere? No. I'm wrong. Yeah, it's tough because again, it might just be even though it might be doubling up a little bit. Mage Hand is pretty cool for a guy who having a skeletal Mage Hand float out. That's kind of a cool thing. But again, that's more narrative function. Let me see. I swear.
Oh,
I feel like I'm missing one. But this just people are gonna be like, that's so obvious. Ooh, yeah, some druid specific stuff might be. You already looked at Shillelagh. Thorn Whip might be cool. I think that one actually moved
Thorn
people.
Whip last time. That sounds cool.
Oh yeah, what is Thorn Whip?
Ooh, yeah, it actually pretty cool because it gives you some tactical control of the battlefield. You create a long vine-like whip, covered in thorns. We could do a cool bone whip. that lashes out at your command toward a creature in range. You make a melee spell attack against it. If it hits, the creature takes a d6 piercing, and if it's large or smaller, you pull it up to 10 feet to you.
Oh yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
You're Scorpion now.
And you could drag people out of other people's threat range and force attack of opportunities. You know what I mean? Like if Thorcus is fighting a guy, you grab him and start pulling him away, so Thorcus turns around and blasts him one as you whip him away.
Oh man, say less. I'm sold.
Kind of like the
It's actually, it's dope too, because you're 5th level, you're beyond 5th level, it's 2d6 damage. So you do 2d6 damage and you get to pull somebody 10 feet. Could definitely come in handy in some fancy circumstances.
Oh, no, okay. Now I am not seeing Thorn Whip in our compendium.
Okay.
But I did find everything else.
Okay,
so I'll
perfect.
just make a note of that.
It's funny because that's in the original base book. Maybe it wasn't in the SRO. But yeah, that's not a problem at all. I can add Thorn Whip. Just again, like I said, just kind of jot it down, and then when I'm updating the D&D Beyond stuff, I'll pop them in too. So yeah, Thorn Whip is super cool. And again, I like that. It's like this notion, you know, it's like you've got these tattoos on you, and then like your skeleton arm comes up, and you've got like a whip of bone. Like that's dope ass divot stuff.
Tight.
Do like a get over here type thing.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I will. You know that will get me hyped. So, that's, a hyped DM is a happy DM.
Hell yeah.
All right, so yeah, we've definitely. Yeah, so that's your boon. You also get, if I'm not mistaken, now your Warlock spell slots count as 2nd level spells. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Dope. So again, Warlocks function differently than all other casters. Every spell slot that a Warlock has is cast at a certain level, and Divot's now gone to 2. So that means even if he casts a 1st level spell, it casts with a 2nd level spell slot's power. It also unlocks 2nd level Warlock spells to him to be able to use. And again, Warlock spells recharge on a short rest. So pretty potent little boost to your Warlock powers there. Again, suspiciously absent your connection with death, the conversations that sometimes line up with your boosts in power. But you can tell, you know, it's this new acorn that you've added to your stomach from devouring the life of Mithra. Is directly responsible for the strength.
Coming for those nuts.
You also learn a new spell. You get one more spell known. So you can use any spell that tickles your fancy.
So again, kind of like somewhat fun and practical, and I think very like in the flavor of the character. I'm looking at Darkness.
Ooh yeah, Darkness is great, especially with your Robe of Eyes. It's pretty vicious.
Yeah, so with the Robe of Eyes, if I cast Darkness, there all of a sudden it's like almost, I mean, not there are things in this world that would still be able to see, but not a lot of them.
Not a lot, correct. Yeah, and it's because it's not just darkness. The spell Darkness is magical darkness. And so there are like specific things, and they will be mentioned. They will be like, this effect does not work in magical darkness, or you know, whatever. So the it is magical darkness, spreads from a point you choose within range, a 15-foot radius sphere for the duration. So a big old spot. It spreads around corners, so you could like make it dark around the corner. Non-magical light cannot illuminate it. So if you have a lantern.
She thought you said barkness. I'm so sorry.
She was like, Bork, I vote for that one. Bork.
Yeah, barkness. Sorry about that.
Dude, that is like the
Pork?
coolest
Pork?
fucking. The visual of that, like Divot casting that, is so terrifying as an enemy. It's like the last thing you see is Divot and then pitch black. Like, oh no.
Yeah, so I know that it says like an amulet or something, but can it be like the ring on my hand?
Oh yeah.
So that it's like coming from my hand, you know?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, absolutely.
Sick.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm all for it. Like, spell flavor is always really like what the spell does, that's in the rules. You know what I mean? Like, there's very specific things that, as far as like the rules function with the math and the balance of the game. But it's like flavor of spells. Psh, like I use that paintbrush. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. It's like fighters. I don't mind if you tell me that you swing 25 times at a guy, and you know the 3 attacks that you actually rolled are the ones that, you know. It's like I'm cool with. I like the narrative flair of just like what these epic battles are like. I don't mind flare-based
Consecutive regular punches.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, your 2 attacks or whatever are the ones that had a chance to actually get through. But like, yeah, I love the narrative paintbrush. I think again, I highly encourage play in everybody's life. Like, you should play a lot. And I think one of the best things about D&D is an excuse to play. And so, yeah, punch up your descriptions as much as you want, as long as we're all like, and then he takes 1d6 light damage, and if he passes, he takes half. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how dope it was. That's how the rules work. So, yeah, I'm all about it. I'm about it.
Well, tight. Those are going to be fun.
Yeah. Anything, I think we still have hit points to do for you, but was there anything other cool Warlock? I keep jumping back to spells and leaving the Warlock page.
Man, that's it for now. And I knew that I wanted to go to 3rd level, and I knew that I wanted to go to 6th level. And now I really don't know. So we're going to let the story figure it out from here on out.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, and honestly, David, it's like I would say, like, this is there's almost a perfect balance point between the levels of each class as far as just like stuff that you get. So I'm interested to see which way it goes as well. I actually highly look forward to it. Did we do hit points for you yet? I don't think we did.
No.
All right, it's a D8. You also have the same option everybody else has. You can take 5 plus your con modifier, or you can roll for it.
I'm going to roll for it.
My man. Ooh, a 6. All right, now let me get mine. All right, David, you got 6. Do you want to take your 6 or go with what I rolled, which you don't know?
I'm taking my 6.
Smart. I had a 3. All right. I hope I don't have a tell. So every time you like to
I listen
join.
to the coin, man.
Mm-hmm. The coin's been right all night, guys. You've been killing the average. Yeah, you got an additional hit point from taking that risk. What's your con modifier, Divot?
Not great. It is a 1.
Nice. So 7 extra hit points. What's that bring you up to?
62.
Ooh, 62. Nice. Heck yeah. See, now you guys can take some hits, and I promise you there's going to be some pretty big hits coming. So what about you, Divot? You've now kind of walked the balance between 2 different classes as you've gone. Again, Warlock is another class a lot of people have a lot of opinions about. Have you liked the journey along the Bard and then the Warlock path?
It's been a lot of fun, definitely. Playing a Bard gives you so much flexibility. The fact that a Bard is a full caster and isn't worthless on the not that they were ever worthless on the battlefield, but I can like jump in the mix. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't always go well. That's kind of how we got to where we are now. But I'm all about like playing the way I want to play and dealing with the consequences. And sometimes you live and sometimes you die, and I've been very lucky, and this is a fun character. But like, I'm never gonna not do something because I'm worried about it. And I think that
it's like, oh no, I have to make a cool character now.
Yeah. So this combo has been a lot of fun to just watch unfold or whatever.
Yeah, he's been a ride. I have to say, like, as far as like, it's cool the narrative function of how the class has worked for the characters. We've kind of built them along, and just like how natural the progression seems. It's like, again, it would seem like, the year ago or whatever, you and I sat down and we were like, and then he's Tina's brother, and it's like, no, this stuff just all kind of came out of the game itself as we progressed. And so it's been so cool. All of you guys, honestly, man, like the journey, one of the treats about making that little supercut was just like going through and seeing where the characters were and their evolution, not just the show or the players and stuff, but the characters themselves.
Or the length of your hair.
Or the length of my hair.
Gosh,
yeah, it's pretty easy to be
of...
like, what part of the season am I watching? Like, you can just determine it specifically by where my hair is at in that range. But yeah, no, it's so cool, guys. Like, again, I know obviously we talked at great length about the year last week. But again, it's just so cool. As it's funny, it's like you assume that like the dungeon master is like just writing the story, and it's very much not that. I mean, we're creating this thing together, and it's like it's extremely exciting for me to see where we're going as well. Like, I know the people that'll be there, the places that they will operate, but I have no idea what's going to happen with you guys ever. So thank you guys so much for being awesome. It's funny, we've played for a year and you guys have gained 5 levels. You know what I mean? Like, that's some campaigns you'll level up all the time, sometimes not. That's just, and I, in this campaign, just so everybody knows, we are using a milestone kind of system. So it's kind of based on like when we reach certain narrative checkpoints, they're gaining levels. But because they all operate together so much, that's not really a problem. Like nobody feels like they're getting the shaft or anything. So, but yeah, no, it's this is kind of another big point for the 5. You guys are about to get into some big stuff. The top of the mountains of the Malachite Mountains is now floating in the sky, surrounded by a magical green orb. The spirit of the mountain seems to be speaking to you guys. This ancient spirit of the Malachite Mountain itself, Man, Shren Oldbuck has a luck blade. All the armies are coming toward Namboldir. It's there's a lot of things going on, and oh yeah, there's that pesky shadow dragon that's still haunting Brunor's homeland. So, dudes, we got a lot of cool shit coming up, and oh my god, I can't wait to get to it. All right, guys, we do this every single Tuesday over here at twitch.tv Arts Studios. We upload all of our sessions the following Friday at 4:20 onto youtube.com/ArtHeart Studios. We do have a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a lighter like this one here that says, "In pizza we crust." I must have had a couple of those because I'm amazed it's still around. Make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire and go. Light us up. Thanks for getting higher with us, guys. We will see you next week. Oh, getting higher.
Oh.
Because
How did that never click?
Because we were.
That's smart.
I
The
see
levels is going higher.
Ha! So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the internet.